So good morning, everyone, and welcome to the webinar where today we will be discovering Simple Invest 360. My name's Andrew Paszko, and I am the Simple Invest 360 product manager here at BGL. Bit of housekeeping to get started. If you attend BGL webinars regularly, you'll know the drill. This webinar is being recorded. All the attendees will receive an email with a link to the recording. If you need to drop off early, we'll send you through that link. Don't worry about it. You get a copy of the slides as well. And the Q&A is open. Please use that for any questions you have. Sitting in to help us with the questions today, we have Andrew Pereira, our BA extraordinaire, and Stephen, the dedicated tester in Simple Invest 360. Both of these guys previously worked in the support team, so you can ask them all of the hard questions. Always like to point out to clients that we do have a little thumb icon within the software. With the thumb icon asks you to give some feedback. Please use it. This goes across the whole company. If there's anything you want to see improved in the software, any new features, or you just want to give us a shout out to tell us what we're doing well. All developers will receive that. Ron will receive that. Our CEO, Daniel, will receive that. All this feedback goes throughout the whole company, so I encourage clients to use it. What we will cover today is a client problem solution. We'll also talk about some real clients that are using the software at the moment. Discuss what is Simple Invest 360 and why did we build it. Of course, we'll do a software demo. No vaporware here. I will show you the real software. We'll talk about how you can get started, because I know by that time we'll be chomping at the bit to get started with Simple Invest. And of course, at the end, we'll leave time for Q&A. So this is BGL clients, Damien Gretsch from Lighthouse Super Solutions, established in 2008 to provide the independent, accurate, and complete SMSF administration services. They have clients all across Australia, and it's founded by Damien Gretsch, who's been a long-time BGL client. So the problem that Damien was facing before using Simple Invest 360 is that he was struggling to manage capital gains tax records. Of course, they're using Excel spreadsheets. They're keeping the CGT records as well as the tax components of distributions for managed funds from year to year in a very challenging Excel spreadsheet. Of course, that's a very manual process. So what's the solution? The solution for him to move to Simple Invest 360. Damien's top benefits of moving to Simple Invest 360 are the data feeds. So you can get all that data coming in automatically from banks, brokers, and wraps. Of course, keeping track of historical tracking of CGT events and all that tax deferred that goes along with it. And then reconciliation reports, Damien pointed out, as far as being reconciled, what's been received for dividends and distributions. So what we asked Damien, how does it compare to other solutions you've used in the past? And I love this. He says one word: automation. No other product compares with regards to the number of data feeds on offer. So what is Simple Invest 360? Simple Invest 360 is accounting, investments, financial reporting, and tax for trusts, companies, and individuals. So it has an integrated double entry general ledger, and importantly, we're covering not just trusts, but also companies and individuals. Software has been built with the main purpose of streamlining CGT and tax work. So for our Simple Fund 360 clients, you can think of it as Simple Fund 360 for non-SMSF. So that means it has all the same machine learning technology available in Simple Fund, the same flexible financial reporting, same ease of use, same time-saving CGT engine. Of course, that feedback from our Simple Fund 360 clients that move across is that so similar that very minimal retraining is required, as you already know all those key concepts from using Simple Fund 360 for your self-managed super funds. As you can see here, for trust companies and individuals, we do the CGT register, we do the investment reporting. We do financial reporting, as well as any letters and minutes that go along with that. We do the tax reporting, and then we do the lodgment for trust and companies. We do not do the tax return lodgment for individuals, although we do give you a nice tax summary with all the labels there. So why do we build Simple Invest 360? We really built it to satisfy our clients that are asking time and time again, why can't I use Simple Fund for non-SMSF? So these clients were using disparate software to manage their investment trust companies, individuals, and keep track of all those portfolios. So that disparate software tech stack might look something like this first row, where you're collating all the data from the client. They're perhaps giving you PDFs or CSVs from the banks, from the brokers, from wraps and platforms. Your client, you or your staff were uploading that to a Dropbox type software. You're then using Excel probably to keep track of all the CGT. Maybe you need to go on the RBA website to get the end of day rates if you're doing any international investments, and you're plugging all of that into your general ledger software. To then arrive at a profit distribution or profit position, to then calculate the profit distribution between the beneficiaries. We see clients punching that back into Excel using Word for the letters and minutes, and then with that profit distribution, putting it back in the GL to then push it through to their tax software for lodgements. And you know how much manually rekeying of data is going on here, how much opportunity there is to make a mistake or so for some oversight to be made. Now with Simple Invest 360, we can eliminate a lot of that back and forth. So we already have all of those 400 plus data feeds that Simple Fund 360 is using. So we're getting in data automatically overnight from the banks, from the brokers, wraps on platforms, of course, from registry, those end of day RBA rates. We're getting all of that data in, and then you can use our end of year profit wizard to then allocate the profit directly to beneficiaries. We're automatically generating the end of year financials for you, all of the beneficiary reports, the trustee minutes, and the final piece of the puzzle, we're allowing you to lodge directly within BGL. So you can just imagine how much time that's going to save you, not to speak about all the mistakes that could happen along the way. This is Linda Humphreys. She was an early beta client for Simple Invest 360, and her feedback really helped to drive the direction that we took. So Linda was using just a basic investment register system that had dividend share price data. We will send you out the full copy of this client success story, so you can read in full. These are just a few points that really stood out to me. So first of all, she says that the input of source information has many different options, so many as possible not to save time. I'll show you what those are. She noted the corporate action function is so simple. I'm going to show you how we can use that corporate action module. And lastly, she speaks about the automation of distributions, including streaming of classes, so we can even do income streaming in a very streamlined way within Simple Invest 360. This is the second client case study that I'll send out to you, and this is Brett from Lantana Private Wealth, once again an early beta client. They're based here in Melbourne, and they are multidisciplinary firms, so they have both the financial planning and tax in-house. This means that Brett was looking for an all-in-one solution, which the accountants could use for ATO tax reporting and the financial planners could use to monitor investment performance, as well as provide the client-facing performance reports. Major issue for Brett previously was that between the financial planning software and the accounting software, there would always be some discrepancies that would pop up, and they need to waste time digging into why there were these differences and do that reconciliation. Of course, having both the financial planners and accountants within the one software mean they don't have these differences any longer. So now enough of the death by PowerPoint. Let's jump over to the software. The great thing about Simple Invest 360 is that it sits within the same login as Simple Fund 360. So you don't need to worry about logging into two different software. When you log in, you will have all of your SMSFs, the trust, your companies, and your individuals all within that same view there. That means you can use this analytical insights across the whole platform. Let's go through and create a new entity. So when you get your license and you click on add new entity, you would have already seen there's SMSF trust company individual. We can quickly create an individual from a contact. Go through and put in a start date. We can put in a financial year. And let's just pull this out and create that individual. As we said, there are many ways now that we've got the individual set up as to how to get our data in there. Let's look at importing our historical data from a CSV file. So over in our feed management screen, we select File Import, the broker CSV. Here's one I prepared earlier. This is just a download from a broker. You can see it's giving you a bit of a preview on the screen as to how the data looks. And then we need to do a little bit of mapping. So this is purchase, contract date, units, security code. And I do have a consideration amount. There it is. and there's some optional fields, which I don't need today. We'll click on import, and that starts pulling that data through into the ledger. Okay, so that data is coming in to the ledger. We can go to the transaction list. And you see here, they will just come through as unmatched because one side will be the investment. So in this case, the purchase of VAS. The other side is just in a clearing account. That's fine. If I just want to use this as a CGT register, or perhaps just an individual, I don't need to do the end of year financials. I could leave that as is. I don't need to be matching it off and making sure it balances at year end. Another option to get data in here would be through the SmartDocs CGT. If you had a unrealized report, so perhaps you've got an unrealized report from one of these providers here, we could drop it into the unrealized report here. And what this is doing is this is using our SmartDocs technology. You would have seen a lot of hype around AI. We're using all that SmartDocs technology there to read the report, read all the information off the report, and then go through and say, okay, here's some VAS, here's some NDQ, and it's going through and pulling all the units and all of the parcel data as well. So if there's more than one there, we'll go through and pull through all of the parcel data. But perhaps realized report, you just have some scribblings on a napkin from the client, sometimes happens. And perhaps particularly for crypto, we can say, okay, this is Binance coin, put in a date. Contract date and units, put in unit price there and click on create, and that will automatically create that as the transactions in there. Then if we did need to go through and pull in some bank data, we could do that through our smart matching screen, where first of all, we just need to set up a bank account to begin with. We can go add bank account type, and that's creating a bank account in the chart of accounts for us. And then we can paste into here from an Excel you have, upload a CSV, or using, once again, our SmartDocs technology to read a bank statement. Doesn't have to be the original PDF, can be a copy of a copy, could have handwriting on it, could have notes, could have highlights. That's fine. All it's going to do is it's going to use the AI to read the document and pick up all the transactions. You can see this one's even got some reduction on it. That's fine. I'm clicking around in these transactions and it's finding it on that bank statement there. It's just a matter of clicking create, and all that information will upload into the software. So once again, SmartDocs technology there, reading the PDF, getting data in. So that's many different ways we can get the data in. We did talk about how the corporate actions was a key feature for Linda. So if we go over to our corporate action module, what we are doing here is we are getting from the ASX on a daily basis any of these corporate action information that's happened, so you'll never miss a corporate action. Then all we're doing is, so we'll give you a list of all of them, then you just click on process. This will take us through to step 2, where it's input details, and you can see it's already pre-filled all the information for us, including franked, unfranked, number of shares allotted there, residual balance. I'll just check that against the dividend statement first time around, just to make sure we're recording the residual balance correctly there. Then it's just a matter of clicking process corporate action, and that's posted to the ledger, that DRP. So you can see it's just taking us a few minutes here to get the investment history in, get any bank data if we wanted to get that in, perhaps for some income, to go through and process our corporate actions. That means we can get to a tax position for this client very quickly. For example, this is just an individual and I didn't need to do a full set of financials. I'll just run off some basic reports using that information there. So here's a realized capital gain report, unrealized capital gain report, capital gains reconciliation, investment income report, and tax reg summary. So like we said, for individuals, we're not doing that full tax return, but we do have a tax reg summary showing you the labels here. So you can see very, very quick to be able to get to that point there. Now, the biggest use case that we're seeing for Simple Invest 360 is around investment trusts, in particular for family trusts. There's still a bit of trepidation around what will happen when the 3 million cap comes in, and we're seeing people definitely move into family trusts as an option for their investment entities. You can see here with Simple Invest 360, a little bit different Simple Fund, the color scheme changes, and then down the left-hand side, instead of showing you members, we do show you beneficiary section. I've already set up some beneficiaries here. If you need to add any beneficiaries in, click on Add Beneficiary, and you can select it from any existing contact or billable entity. So maybe that already exists as a trust within BGL, for example. And you can see this family here as 4 family members, bucket company, and another trust. Pretty standard stuff. Now, throughout the whole year, all the processing is the same. So, of course, we're getting that data in, we're matching it off, we're doing our corporate actions, we're doing our end-of-year tax distribution automation. All of that is the same as Simple Fund. Where we start to differ is around the period compliance. In the period compliance, we are doing period compliance instead of create entries. We could choose to distribute either yearly, quarterly, monthly, or a custom period. Today, we're just going to do a yearly distribution where we start the workflow. Up comes our statement of taxable income screen, where we have the net profits. This is per the operating statement. That's all that income less expenses. We're showing you then all of the taxable items that are captured within the software. If you need to add any items that are not captured in the software, you can do that on the screen. As you can see here, I've already added a tax adjustment for NRAS to then get to net taxable income. We then have a reserve section where we're doing some automatic reserving for you. So we are doing the automatic investment reval reserve here. You could do a capital loss reserve. If you've got an income equalization reserve, you could do that here as well to then get to the income available for distribution. Let's save and post. This is now taking us through to our distribute profit screen, where we're showing you the taxable profit available for distribution. We could choose to turn on income streaming, which will then allow us to really get granular as far as how we're distributing these profits as far as it's franked, discount, and other gains. Otherwise, we could just do a straight up 60-40 split between Charlotte and Jonah, or we could do a dollar amount if we wish. That's the accounting side. Below this line here, of course, the tax components. So using that percentage split above, we can choose to autofill from that percent. You can see it's splitting out all those tax components into an area of the screen that looks quite similar to how it looked on the tax return. Now we can do post and continue. Up comes the option to be able to distribute this profit directly into the ledger of the receiving entity. I'll show you what I mean by that. So this inter-entity tool, you can see Charlotte and Jonah, who we did the distribution to. We can choose to post that to Charlotte's ledger. Post it to Jonah. So now if I want to view those transactions, click it. You'll notice in the top left-hand corner, we are now in Charlotte. So she's a billable entity within BGL. And that's at 238. So that's a receiving distribution. She's receiving that distribution. So you can see how I'm now posting between entities. Okay, otherwise we'd continue to the tax return, pre-filling the tax return for you, doing all the validations, showing you where you're missing some information. You just need to validate and lodge. What about the reports that we're creating for you? This is very important. This is where you make your money, showing the reports to the client. Let's run these ones off. Close off that. You can create your own report packs, just building out the report packs as to what you need to be running with your clients. Perhaps put on a cover letter. I haven't put on a cover letter today. You can see here we have the statement of financial position with the delineation between current and non-current. Operating statement. A memorandum of resolution showing that distribution as a percent. We could choose to show it as a dollar amount if we wish. All these documents are ready for electronic signing. There's a trustees deck. Statement of distribution for each beneficiary there. Beneficiary balance summary, so showing us what's happened during the year. Beneficiary distribution summary, similar to that screen that we did the profit distribution. Annual tax statement. This is a really great professional looking report, similar to what you'd be getting from an ETF or managed fund. But this tax return label, this will change depending on the type of beneficiary. So it's one's individual, tax return labels like this. SMSF would be different. Then we have the tax direct summary report with the labels there, and of course the tax return, and just be able to lodge it directly through BGL. What if we were running a unit trust, and we're seeing a lot of unit trusts in the software set up in particular around properties. So here is a property unit trust. Instead of the beneficiaries, we have unit holders. You can see here, this company has a couple of different classes. So when you go through and create the beneficiary, you just go through and issue them units. Or if you have this information already in CAS 360, you could pull it through from there as well. So all through the year, the same. As far as processing, period compliance, a little bit different. We do our start workflow. Up comes the statement of taxable income screen. We save and post. Ready to distribute profit. We could either distribute profit straight up, or we could choose to reinvest that as distribution. Reinvest the distributions as units, and you would then be going through and manually inputting the units here. Otherwise, we can just say 80% to the A class, 20% to the B class, and that automatically splits out the accounting split, and we can autofill the tax split from that percent. Post and continue. Let's skip our inter-entity tool, pre-fill the tax return for you, and let's run off some reports for a unit trust. While that's running in the background, let's just jump over to the next one, which I'll show you a company. Conscious of time now. So with a unit trust, of course, we are showing you the statement of financial position, the operating statement, unit holding statement. So this unit holding statement shows you a bit of on-off during the year. It's across all unit holders. We're showing you a unit valuation letter. So we're looking at the investments that are being held within this unit trust and giving you a valuation there. Just a Word document template that you could change if you wish. Unit valuation report, showing the full breakdown. Once again, tax rec summary report, and then the tax return ready to validate and lodge. Companies, we don't have beneficiaries or unit holders, we have shareholders. Once again, if you've already got the company set up in CAS, you could pull through this information on setup. You don't need to go through and manually input all the shares. We do have a section around payment instructions that'll help us out with our year-end pack. And then processing, all the same during the year. Just a matter of going through and starting the workflow where we get our statement of taxable income screen. Save and post. We are then showing you the earnings available for distribution, franking credits available. Of course, we have our franking account worksheet where you can manually input the history. And then anytime you're paying out a dividend from here, we'll automatically record it for you. No need to record that anywhere else. We keep it all within the software. Franking rate, record date, payment date could be adjusted if you need to. Otherwise, we're going to do an 80% payment to the A class, 10% franked, 20% payment to the B class with a 10% franked. And that's splitting it out automatically, of course. And then we post and continue. Let's skip our inter-entity tool and we'll run off our reports for the company. While I'm running off those reports, we do have a new screen based around Division 7A. So with Division 7A in Simple Invest 360, we allow you to create a loan. Could be for an entity that exists within BGL, or could just be something that's outside of BGL. We're not going to stop you. We know you're already using the ATO calculator website. We're allowing you to use this as a loan manager. So you can go through and add any loans in here you wish. It'll spit out all of the information, of course, around the loan, the interest rate for each year, the interest payment, minimum repayment amount, the running balance, and you can see a breakdown during the year of any repayments being made, as well as you can choose to pay as dividends, and that will post it to the ledger as well. Okay, so the financial reports that we created, statement of financial position, operating statement. We have a declaration of dividends resolution, just a Word document template, members minute. We have a dividend statement. Once again, it's just a Word document template. If you don't like this format, you can make any changes to it you need to. There are those payment instructions we discussed earlier. Minutes of meeting of directors. We have a director's report. This is just all built off client feedback. Clients started using it, saying, oh, we need this report, we need that report. We're happy to add it. Work with us. Here's a director's declaration, tax reg summary report, and of course a return ready to be validated and lodged directly within BGL. Now, the final thing I will show you here, actually, I'll show you two more things. I lied. Consolidated reporting. Now that we have all of our information in BGL, the SMSF, the trust, the company, the individuals, we want to see it all together. So here is the Bird Family Group. There's an SMSF, your trust, company. You can see that we're already giving you a cover letter, so you can edit this if you wish. We are showing you a basic summary, so change in value, return, investment income, tax movement across all these entities. We're giving you a performance screen, similar to that investment performance screen you would have seen within Simple Fund 360, just showing that across all of the entities. An asset allocation pie chart. Perhaps you can tell this is requested by financial planners. They love pie charts. They love colors. Numbers too hard to read. Here we're grouping it by asset type. You can choose to group it by defensive versus growth, by GICS code. Clients asked for GICS code, we added it. Work with us. Showing you a tax summary and a financial summary there as well across the whole group. I think there is no other software out there that is doing as much as we are doing. If you think there is, let me know. Put it in the chat, put it in the Q&A. Tell me who it is. The last thing is a feature we released recently. It's around workflow. So workflow, this is a way that you can go through and either use our templates that we'll give you to around perhaps an annual processing job, perhaps around a wind-up process or onboarding a new client. You create that template. We use our template and create a duplicate of it. You can create as many tasks within it you wish, and then you can apply that template to either all entities or perhaps just a few entities. So this is now allowing you to track the jobs that you have going on within your firm. We know clients are using Excel for this. Let's use it within the software. You can log in and say, okay, which jobs are for me? All these ones I need to do. All right. Maybe you're a manager, say, okay, what does Adriana have to do? She's got all these jobs coming up, not started or in progress. Within the job itself, you could have multiple tasks. You could put comments in there. You could upload documents to it, and that will store in the documents section for this fund. And now we're also doing job tracking for your entities that are in BGL. You can even add entities that are not within BGL. Create a job without an entity. We don't mind. We're not offended. Let's jump back to our PowerPoint and we'll start to finish up. So we asked Brett, if your best friend was on the fence about trying Simple Invest 360, what would you tell them? He'd say, just give it a go. Setup and maintenance costs are extremely reasonable. And even if a few questions do pop up, our support team is just one quick email away. We even have in-software chat support now as well, so even quicker to respond. Now you're wondering, how do you get started? And while we're wondering that, let's launch a poll. Let's launch this one to begin with. If you would like to be contacted. If you don't, not offended. But if you do want someone to reach out from BGL and discuss about what would be the next steps. So onboarding with BGL client success team, first of all, of course, you purchase Simple Invest. So you have a license good to go. Identify which entities you want to convert. And then you can log a support call requesting onboarding assistance. Our client success team will convert the data for you free of charge. As a free of charge service for our new clients moving to Simple Invest 360, we know you're coming from a lot of different software. We are getting a lot of different kind of formats of reports. Let us help you get that data into Simple Invest 360. I know it is a pain point for you. We can help you move that data across. Of course, if you're already a Simple Fund client, that training piece, basically, you don't need to worry about that. You can see the software is so similar to Simple Fund already. And of course, the important question, the value for money. Simple Invest 360 is $100 per entity per year. Sold a minimum purchase of 5, and then you can upgrade in ones thereafter. Of course, that gives you unlimited users. The support from BGL, we're getting the ASX UT and international daily pricing in for you, the FX rates, corporate action data. We're doing regular updates, so we're doing updates every 3 weeks. We do have on-demand training for this. It's online training. And of course, we've got a 30-day money-back guarantee as per all of BGL products. That is for the base model, the $100 per year. If you need to automate the banks, automate the buys and sells, then you can pay another $40 for the bank pack and another $40 for the share pack. Of course, if you don't want to automate the buys and sells, you just want to automate the bank, you can buy it separately as well. But what I'm saying is the minimum you would pay per entity is $100 per year, and the maximum is $180 plus GST. Very reasonable as far as what else is out there in the market today. Let me end that poll there. All right, looks like we're all good to go. Let's land this plane. Thanks everyone for coming along today. I really appreciate you joining in to learn more around Simple Invest 360. Please feel free to reach out if you have any other questions that pop up, and I look forward to speaking to you soon.